Welcome. In this video, we will try to understand about the power of Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Now, the power of Lieutenant Governor of Delhi is little bit of different from the Governor of States as well as the Lieutenant Governor of the other UTs. So, Delhi is kind of a special case scenario where it is a union territory but it does not have all the power into the central hand. At the same time, it has legislative assembly of its own where we know that there is a CM elected by the people, but there are certain subjects on which the legislative assembly cannot make laws. So it is a special kind of a scenario, and in that regard it becomes important that what are the exact powers of the lieutenant governor, what all he could do, what he cannot. All these things has been going on for a long period of now, and there is something you must have already read in the newspaper regarding Delhi asking for the statehood. So these things become important in that perspective. This is a topic of your GS paper 2 related to your polity. So let's start. So what is the latest context? So latestly, Cabinet has okayed the bill on powers of Delhi Lieutenant Governor. What are going to be the powers of Governor in Delhi? Cabinet has recently approved a bill. So in India, a Lieutenant Governor is in charge of a union territory including the Delhi in a similar manner as the Governor of the state in India. So just remember, Lieutenant Governor take care of the UTs, Governor of the state. The rank of Lieutenant Governor is present only in the Union Territories of Andaman and Nicobar, Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, Delhi and Puducherry. So just remember, it's not like all the UT. We have 9 UTs now. All of them had the Lieutenant Governor in it, but it is only the newly two formed JNK and Ladakh. These two Union Territory has. Then the Puducherry and the Delhi. Both of these two union territories also have the lieutenant governor, and apart from that it is the Andaman and Nicobar Island. So just remember this, these are the places where the lieutenant governor is appointed for the UT. The other territories have an administrator appointed who is usually an IAS officer of a retired judge or IAS officer or a retired judge of a court. However, Governor of Punjab act as an administrator of Chandigarh. So we know that Chandigarh is also a UT. But over here, the Governor of Punjab, who is elected as the Governor of Punjab, is the one who act as the administrator. Apart from that, the other UTs, there would be the administrator would be appointed, and that person would be either an IAS officer or a retired judge of a court. What are the other UTs? For an example, the Lakshadweep. We have Lakshadweep. We have Dadar Nagar Haveli. So all these places now will have the administrator. So again, this is kind of a polity structure. You should remember, at central level we have our prime minister and president. Then at the state level we have chief minister along with the governor. And for the UTs it becomes little bit difficult. It is the lieutenant governor who is included in the union territories of Delhi, Pondicherry, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh and Andaman and Nicobar. For the other places it is administrator. But even there, Punjab governor is the one who acts as an administrator for the Chandigarh union territory. The governors and lieutenant governors are appointed by the president for a term of 5 years. Now this is similar. Even the lieutenant governor is appointed by the president only. So it is not the governor of the state or somebody who appoints the lieutenant governor. It is the president himself. He will appoint the lieutenant governor too for the UTs. Now this is something you should remember. It is important because we just saw that governor and lieutenant governor, they kind of look like a similar post, but there are differences. So let's just quickly go through them. So governor is appointed under Article 153. Now the constitutional provision itself is different. Governor is appointed under Article 153 while lieutenant governor is appointed under Article 239, which means every union territory in India shall be administered by the president through an administrator to be appointed by him. The position is called Lieutenant Governor in Andaman and Nicobar, Puducherry and Delhi, and now it is also extended to Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir. So just remember, this is your Article 239 which dealt with the appointment of Lieutenant Governor, and who appoints it? It is the President. Then governor is the constitutional head of the state. So this is something you should remember. It is the governor is the constitutional head, while the lieutenant governor is an administrator and not a constitutional head of the union territory. So he is just he's an administrator who is administrating the union territory on behalf of the president or the central government, but he is not the constitutional head. Governor, on the other hand, is the constitutional head of the state. Article 153 to 167 of the Indian Constitution deals with the state executive, which includes the governor. So we have governor, chief minister, council of minister, along with advocate general. So this is what we consider as a state executive. On the other hand, Article 239 to 241 deals with the UTs. So just it is the difference in which portion of the constitution the role of the governor and of the lieutenant governor is mentioned. State have their own government. UTs are directly governed by the union. So that's why they are called union territory. So they are directly governed by the union itself. Governor work as per the advice of Council of Ministers. So in state there is an elected Council of Ministers, there is an elected CM, there is Legislative Assembly, and in that regard the governor has to work on the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. But in this regard, the Supreme Court in 2017 said that the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has more power than the governor of any state. He doesn't have to listen to the Council of Ministers. So I have already mentioned in the beginning of this video itself that the case of Delhi is little bit of different. We have a legislative assembly in Delhi. There is an elected CM and Council of Ministers, but the Lieutenant Governor, being an agent of the state, does not actually have to listen to the advice of Council of Ministers. The governor acts as a nominal head, whereas the real power lies with the chief minister of the state and her council of ministers. So we already know that the de jure head of the state is governor, but de facto it is the chief minister who is heading the council of ministers. On the other hand, in union territories, the real power lies with the lieutenant governor or administrator, except in the Delhi and Puducherry, where he or she share the power with the Council of Ministers headed by a Chief Minister. So Puducherry and Delhi has the CM also along with the Lieutenant Governor. So this is a kind of a scenario which has been developed that and in case of Delhi it becomes even more complicated because Delhi is also the seat of power, and that is why such kind of discoordinates keep on happening between the legislative assembly and the role of lieutenant governor. Puducherry is also the place where there you can find these truffles. So Kiran Bedi is someone who is the lieutenant governor of Puducherry as of today, and at more than one occasion there has been tension between the elected CM as well as the lieutenant governor. So in this regard, this is how your governor and lieutenant governor posts are different. So I hope you have understood the difference. They are important from your polity perspective. Now let's just quickly see the condition of the Delhi. So what is the case is all about? So basically National Capital of Delhi versus Union of India. It was a case which has been heard by the Supreme Court. So let's just quickly see what are the issues and what could be the probable solution. So the judgment enunciate lofty principles concerning constitutional morality, cooperative federalism, constitutional conscience, pragmatic federalism, etc. So basically when the Supreme Court came ahead and given its judgment in the NCT of Delhi versus Union of India cases, it is considered more along the line of euphemisms and what you can call romantic ideologies which has been provided by the court, and that's why it has been said that there is no concrete discussion or concrete judgment out of it. So it tells the state government that it should remember that Delhi is a special category union territory and lays down the parameter to enabling the harmonious functioning of the government and the lieutenant governor. The Supreme Court has settled the law in regard to the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers by affirming that lieutenant governor is bound to act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, except in cases of land, public order and the police. So just remember what has the Supreme Court given out in its judgment, that the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi had to listen to the advice of Council of Ministers. So this is what it has actually been said, that the uh, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi would have to listen to the aid and advice of elected Council of Minister. But in some cases, what are those subjects? Those are your land, police, and public order. So in this regard, Lieutenant Governor do not have to pay to the heed and advice of Council of Minister. But apart from that, the other subject, the Lieutenant Governor is bound to follow the advice of Council of Minister. The court has also made it clear that there is no requirement of the concurrence of the Lieutenant Governor, and that he has no power to overrule the decision of the state government. Again, this is a important aspect, that it's not like for everything that state government decide the concurrence of Lieutenant Governor is important. And in fact, constitutionally, the Lieutenant Governor does not have any power over the judgments or over the decision of the state government, which is an elected state government. In the operationalization of Article 239 AA, which is the one which deals with the special provisions for Delhi NCR, just remember this is your Article 369 AA. It says that in case of a difference of opinion between Lieutenant Governor and his minister on any matter, the Lieutenant Governor shall refer it to the President for decision and act according to that decision. So basically, the President decision in reality means the decision of the Union government. So even though in the article it says that there is a kind of a discordance between the Council of Minister of Delhi and the Lieutenant Governor, he should refer it to the President and should act according to what has been advised by the President. But we all know in reality President is bound by the aid and advice of the Council of Minister. So at the end of the day, it is the will of the Union which is going to get away. So this is something which is mentioned in the article. So in the meantime, if the Lieutenant Governor thinks that the matter is urgent, he can take immediate action on his own, bringing the matter back to square one. So this is again, that is why the whole judgment is considered more on the line of lofty principle, and it has not given anything concrete, because at the end of the day, the court again said that if the Lieutenant Governor find anything urgent matter, he can go ahead and take the decision on his own, which essentially mean there is no criteria to decide, or there is nothing in question which could make the Lieutenant Governor to say that okay, this is not urgent or this is urgent. So all these things considered the issue or the contention between the Delhi government and the center keeps on going. So you just keep an eye on it for your polity purpose. What you have to do is actually to remember the role of Lieutenant Governor and how it is different from the Governor of the state. Also at the same time, the special feature of the Delhi UT. So what are the subjects which are beyond it? What is the Article 239 AA has talked about the special category of Delhi and its NCR region. So all these things are important from your polity perspective. You don't have to again go into the politics of the tussle between the Delhi government and the center government. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.